Hello. We are starting the lecture series in Introduction to LaTeX today, and the aim of this lecture series is to help anybody to understand basic commands in LaTeX that could be useful for preparing a decent project report in LaTeX that includes theorems, sections, formula, all this kind of mathematical things. We are straight away going into LaTeX, and but in fact before that we should understand that what is the philosophy behind LaTeX and how actually it differs from any usual ordinary word processor. We are going to see that first. So we should understand that what exactly a document preparation system is. It is nothing but it's an application software that helps one to prepare formatted documents. So some of the examples are Microsoft Word, which is very popular, LibreOffice Writer, and equivalent of Microsoft Word in Linux operating systems. And of course, LibreOffice Writer is available in Windows also. And of course, our LaTeX. See that even though we are writing LATEX, it is pronounced as LATEK, LaTeX. How do they differ? Means how do these ordinary word processors and LaTeX differ? So Microsoft Word and LibreOffice Writer, they are known as WYSIWYG. So what you see is what you get, editors, and they show the final output while creating the document itself. Suppose that we want to make some text bold. So what happens is that we select the text and we applies the bold button or clicks on the bold button in the menu, and suddenly that text becomes bold. So what you actually want is what you will be seeing. So you are editing live or you are seeing the results also live. But the difference in Microsoft Word, LibreOffice Writer and LaTeX is that LaTeX is not a WYSIWYG editor, but LaTeX is something known as what you want is what you get type of editor. So you are not going to see what exactly is going to be the output while typing itself. That's the basic difference. Microsoft Word, LibreOffice, all these things are known as word processors, and the difference comes like this. So the word processors usually permit us to type the text, then issue the formatting commands using some key press, mouse press, etc. And they show the output also in the same window. But in the case of LaTeX, what happens is we need to find out a text editor. LaTeX will not be providing any text editor for entering our input, for entering the commands. Then we have to process it through the LaTeX software, and then the output will be saved as some PDF file, and we need a PDF viewer to open that PDF file and see the output. So the steps are for making bold text in a word processor. We type it, select the text using a mouse or keyboard, and then click on the menu button showing bold, or usually press Ctrl B. A resulting bold text appears in the same window. But in LaTeX, for achieving this thing, one may have to type the text like bold text. Then we have to type the command \textbf and enclose bold text in curly braces, and save the file and run the LaTeX program, and finally open it in a viewer like a PDF viewer to see the output in bold text. So a number of steps are involved in LaTeX, but in usual word processor, it's quite straight away, because you are selecting, you are typing, you are selecting, and you are making bold, and you are seeing all these things inside the same window. So why do we use LaTeX in that case? If word processor is so easy to use and LaTeX is very difficult to use, then why do we use LaTeX? If you have to prepare a very simple document like a letter to somebody or an office document, mostly LaTeX is not really necessary. A word processor will always do. But suppose that we have to prepare a scientific document that involves a lot of formulas, sections, chapter, index, table of contents, all these things. Life in a word processor is going to be terrible, and LaTeX is going to be quite useful there, and it's going to be the most easiest software in that case. Some history about LaTeX. So the history of LaTeX actually begins with Professor Donald E. Knuth. He is an American computer scientist. He's a mathematician and a professor emeritus at Stanford University. And he is the recipient of something known as the Nobel Prize in Computer Science, ACM Turing Award. And not only that, he is very famous for as the author of the classic text in programming known as the art of computer programming. And he is the only one person probably behind the creation of the original software called Tech, not LaTeX, Tech. So he is here, and this is his homepage. This website of Donald Knuth is actually very interesting, and if you get a chance to visit that website, probably I will try to show that. It will be very interesting to see his website, Donald Knuth. So I'm finding out, so his page is listed here. So this is his homepage. You can see a lot of links, number of links here, and if you go through all these things, it looks like really funny, really interesting things are written in his web page. If you get a chance to visit this web page, please go through all these links, and we are continuing with the presentation. Donald Knuth is a professor, and he is the creator of the original Tech software, and he created it as an open source free software. And after that, another person, another computer scientist called Leslie Lamport, he added some friendlier commands, options, etc. to Tech and started calling it as La for Leslie Lamport, La Tech, and now it's known as LaTeX. So, but remember that the LaTeX that we are seeing today is actually the result of contribution from many computer scientists, many tech enthusiasts, etc. The requirements to run LaTeX are: we need to install the LaTeX software itself, we need a text editor, we need a PDF viewer. So LaTeX software for Windows is a very famous one, is known as ProText, that is based on a LaTeX distribution called MikTeX, that is available for download at this link. And remember that the warning that it's a huge file, it's going to be at least 1 GB in size. Now, for LaTeX software for Ubuntu, Linux Mint, and Ubuntu based distributions, or most of the common Linux distributions, it's very easy to install using the command sudo apt-get install techlive -y. This is quite easy. Or otherwise, you can go to the software manager and try to find out techlive. We call that techlive is the spelling. After that, after installing LaTeX, we need a LaTeX editor, and some of the most commonly used LaTeX editors are TextStudio, TechMaker, TechWorks, Kyle, etc. These are all free open source editors. And these editors, the functions of these editors are the following. They help us to find out commonly used commands. We can quickly get those commands from the interface itself without remembering all these commands. They allow us to process the file that we type using LaTeX within the editor window without opening a terminal or without typing extra commands. And also most of these editors will open the PDF output after processing the input file. All these things will be done inside this editor window itself. PDF viewer, one can use Acrobat Reader in Windows, Ocular, XPDF, etc. in Ubuntu, Linux Mint, and Linux. Now, to use LaTeX, one has to open the editor, and commands we have to enter after entering the commands. So after entering the commands, we can just compile it and we can see the output. So our choice of the text editor will be TextStudio, which is freely available, free to download. It's an open source thing. It is available for Windows and Linux both, and we are going to use TextStudio for all the processing of LaTeX from now onwards. And therefore, we remember that we need TextStudio, we need LaTeX, we need PDF viewer to work with. And after this short introduction, we are going into action now. We are going to prepare our first LaTeX file, and for that we are going to open the editor TextStudio from the applications menu. TextStudio opening and opened. Now, to start typing a document, we have to go to File and click on this New. So now we are seeing something. Like Untitled here. Okay, don't worry about that for the time being. So I am typing one command here. So this is backslash document class. That's the command that I'm typing. And initially I'm going to prepare something called an article, which is a simple file in LaTeX. After that, the next command I am going to enter is begin document. So I am informing the LaTeX software that I am going to prepare an article and I am beginning the document from this line. After pressing the enter key, automatically something like content and end document appears here. These two lines are actually provided by the Text Studio software. So I am typing something in between. This is my first LaTeX file. So I am going to save this file, and after saving I have to process this file or compile this file. That's a technical word we are using. So first I am saving this file. So for saving the file, I am going to the file menu and clicking on save. So it asks what name I want. So I am giving the name first, FIRST, just like that. So I gave the name first. There is some problem with that. Save. Need to save it somewhere here. Giving the name first here once again. I saved it. So see that on the top, instead of untitled, now the name has become first.tex. That means that I have saved it as a tex file. This is the feature of the Text Studio editor. That means even if I am giving the name to be just first, it adds the extension .tex. Now to see the output, I am clicking on here. I can see one button here, and if I am placing the mouse, it shows that compile. I'm clicking on that button. I clicked on the button. To see the output, now here there is a view button available. I'm clicking on that view button and the output is here. You may see this is my first LaTeX file. Now if I want to see this output is coming just to the right of the source file or the text file that I typed. If I want to see it in a different window, I have to just click on this icon on which if I place the mouse, it shows that external viewer. I'm just placing my mouse here and opening it in the external viewer so that it comes like this here. This is my first LaTeX file. See that the commands I typed, document class article is not here, begin document is not here, end document is also not here, but the text that I typed in between these two lines is here. So this is a very simple LaTeX file, and I just prepared a LaTeX file showing that the basic commands required in LaTeX are these three: document class, begin document, end document. In LaTeX, whatever word we are starting with backslash is known as a LaTeX command. So document class is a LaTeX command, begin is a LaTeX command, and end is also a LaTeX command. So I'm closing this window, PDF window. So I'm trying to modify this now. So instead of LATEX, suppose that I'm using a special command here, backslash capital L, small a, capital T. You can see that some suggestions are appearing here, small e, capital X. So I just changed it like this. This is my first LaTeX file. I'm changing the LaTeX to some command in this form. Now I am trying to compile this, view this in the external viewer, and see that the output is something different. See, this is my first LaTeX file. And one more interesting thing here is that though I have given a space after this LATEX and FILE, that space is not appearing here because LaTeX usually ignores the space coming after any command. So to keep that space, I need to put a backslash. an extra backslash here to keep the space after the command LaTeX, and again I'm compiling. See, instead of compiling and viewing, straight away I can click on this button which says that build and view. So I'm using that, opening it. So now the space is appearing here. Okay, this is my first LaTeX file, and this is a very simple file that we have prepared, and we saved it as first.dex. We have seen that the spaces are treated specially when it follows a command. That means if you have a LaTeX command and if you put some space after the command, that space is completely ignored. There is something, some more thing special about this treatment of space in a LaTeX file, and we are going to see that in this lecture. I'm starting Text Studio once again. So Text Studio started. The alt file is once again appearing. So instead of the alt file, the first.tx, I'm opening a new file, new. So once again, document class, increasing the font size, document class article, that's the standard command that we have to always use. Begin document. Remember that the case of all these words are important. Document class, everything is in small letter, lowercase. Article is also every letter is in small, in lowercase. Begin lowercase, document lowercase, everything in lowercase. Now we need the end document command also. Now I'm going to type something in between. Since to show how spaces are being treated in LaTeX, we need a lot of text. So I'm copying some text from some website. First, I will try to copy from the Donald Knuth page in Wikipedia itself. Okay, and we are seeing a lot of things here. What should we copy and paste? Okay, I'm copying and pasting this much here, some 2 paragraphs. Just see how we are doing the formatting. So after receiving his PhD, okay, I'm just removing all these spaces. He accepted everything, etc. I'm removing all these spaces. So I have all this text here. I'm just trying to compile this and see this. I'm closing this first.tx. Okay, now I have to save this first. Save. So this is my second document. So I'm giving second as the name of this file. See that the second.tx is appearing on the top. Now I am going to compile this file using build and view option on the menu bar. So I am opening it in an external viewer. I'm seeing all these things. See that the text is appearing here, that is completely justified, but we have not set to justify it. In a usual word processor, what happens is that if we are entering a text, it is usually left aligned instead of justified, but here it's not happening like that. Here it's everything justified. Not only that, see the hyphenation. So professor, so PRO, and after that a hyphen is already given. Just see if that hyphen is appearing here or not. So it is not appearing here. So that means that LaTeX is automatically adding hyphenations here. Language, that is also splitted, LAN, and after that hyphen, etc. Now suppose that we want to make a paragraph. So what is the first paragraph? What is the second paragraph here? He accepted a commission to write. Okay, this is what we are going to make a paragraph. So I'm pressing the enter key here. So enter key is pressed. Now I am trying to build and view once again and viewing it. But see that the press of the enter key has not made any effect here. So he accepted, etc. is coming on the same line as that of the previous line. So this is an observation. LaTeX will ignore one enter key press. So what about 2 enter key presses? You will see We have pressed once the enter key, one more enter key, build and view, external viewer. See that the second enter key, after the second enter key, LaTeX understood that we want to give a paragraph break, and it broke the paragraph and it started the next paragraph in an indented fashion. See that there is a distance, there is after is starting after some space, the word he is starting after some space, and everything else is coming like this. So once we break a paragraph, the next line automatically becomes indented. So what about just if you do not want any indentation, that also can be done. Suppose that we just give a command new line and press enter key, single enter. So I have typed new line here and a single enter key, and I'm trying to build and view external viewer. See that the while working on this project, that is on the second line after the new line. This is the command in LaTeX. We have given a command to break the line and go to the new line, and while working on this will be in the new line. But the thing is, since we issued a new line command, it did not start a paragraph, but instead of that it just broke on the line and went to the next line. That's it. But now suppose that if you are giving one extra enter key also here, let us see what happens. So the extra enter key actually produced in an extra space also. Therefore, the new line is already producing one space. The paragraph is creating another space, though there is an unintentional extra one blank line coming in between these two paragraphs. Since this is not indented, we may probably remove this new line, or otherwise we may just keep this to see the effect of this. To produce a new line, instead of typing the command / new line, one may just press \n and press the enter key. When pressing the enter key is not necessary. So instead of new line, this is the equivalent of new line. I am compiling to see the output. To see the output here, see that the line he originally planned, etc., went to the next line. So either we can use the long form of the new line command like this, or we can use the short form of the new line command like this. Now another interesting observation probably is, okay, I'm going to give some space here, working on. So many spaces I have given, compiling, viewing. But where did I give the space? After working, while working, after that I have given so many spaces, but only one space is appearing. This is another feature of LaTeX. So in LaTeX, even if you are giving one space or two space or three space, etc., after one space everything else will be ignored. If you want to produce space intentionally, then you have to give the command h space, and say that how much space you want, 1 centimeter do you want, or 1 inch you want, h space 1 inch. 1 inch you want, h space 1 centimeter means that horizontal space 1 centimeter, h space 1 inch means that horizontal space 1 inch. Let us see the effect of this. Channel viewer, see, while working on, this is 1 centimeter given and 1 inch given here. So to produce horizontal space, we have to explicitly say that we want to produce space, and for that we have to use horizontal space command. But remember that horizontal space command will not work in some special situations, like when we are breaking a line. See the example. Suppose that we are giving this h space 1 centimeter here to the left of he originally planned to publish, etc. Suppose that we are compiling and trying to see the output. The output comes like this. See that he originally planned, and the h space command is not working here. But if we are giving the h space command in the beginning of a paragraph, it actually works. So this is something, a strange behavior of LaTeX. So that is working here. You see that. So before the beginning of a paragraph, h space command works, but before the beginning of a line which is created using the new line command, h space is not working. But in this situation, to produce space, we require to use a command h space star. So one star is also required in addition. And H space star, we are compiling, we can see that here H space star is working, creating some extra space here. So just like horizontal space, there is of course a vertical space command also. For using the vertical space command, one need to after the new line or after the end of the line, we need to issue the command v space v vertical space, say 1 cm. Let us see the effect of this. So vertical space we have given, and see the effect is that between these two paragraphs 1 centimeter gap is given. So if we are giving the vertical space command in the towards the beginning of the document, let us see what happens. That is not actually working. For if you want to give the vertical space command in the beginning of the page, we need to give a vertical space star command. Then it's coming down by 1 centimeter. So we have seen actually 4 commands now: H space star, V space star. H space will work towards the anywhere H space will work, except when we are breaking the line using new line and we are starting the next line, H space will not work. In that case, we may have to use H space star. V space is useful for creating vertical spaces, and if we are in the beginning of the page, top of the page, V space will not work, but in that case we need to use V space star. So these are the special spacing commands available in LaTeX. So remember that just pressing the space bar 2-3 times will not create extra space. Just pressing the enter key 2-3 times also will not produce any extra space, except that one enter key will be completely ignored, 2 enter keys will produce a paragraph, and 3 enter keys onwards will be again ignored and will be just taken as 2 enter keys. So 2 enter key or more, that is equivalent to 2 enter keys. 1 space or more is equivalent to 1 space. That is the philosophy in LaTeX, and that's all about spacing in LaTeX. And we stop our today's lecture with this, and what we have done so far is to explain how to prepare a basic document and how spacing can be controlled in a LaTeX document. We are stopping here. Thank you very much.